Hey friends, it's Hope and I'm back with Danielle.
Hi.
And we are here to do the book makeup tag. We've done a couple collaborations before and we love makeup just as much as we love books.
Yes.
So we thought this would be perfect to do for you guys. So if you guys want to follow along or participate in this yourself, of course, I will leave all of the information down below in the description box. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. The very first thing is primer, which Danielle, what do you use for primer usually?
So this bottle has gotten a lot of love, but I have my trusty Fix Plus from MAC, and this is my new favorite. It's the Professional from Benefit.
And I'm kicking it old school with my OG NYX Photo Primer. And for this, it says, which book made a lasting impression? So while Danielle is finishing up her primer, I'll go ahead and tell you what book left a lasting impression for me, and that was Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. This book was gifted to me by my dear friend Sarah, and pretty much it's all about unconditional love and how beautiful unconditional love is, and that's why it made a lasting impression. It just really just hit me deep in the feels, if you know what I mean.
And mine was Night Circus. Not only is the cover absolutely beautiful and all of the just really cool with all the constellations in it as well, but the story was just like pure magic to me. It's probably like a book that I'll probably read once a year.
All right, so for the next one, it is Foundation, which is our favorite first book in a series. And for Foundation, I'm going to be using my Tarte Amazonian Clay. What are you going to be using?
Try that. I'm going to be using my new favorite, which is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation and Concealer. It's drugstore and it's under $10, just so you know.
And I'm going to be applying it with my little Real Techniques Kabuki. And what do you have there? Is that your Eco Tools?
Yeah, it's my Eco Tools Beauty Blender.
So I'm just going to blindly dot this all over my face since I don't have my mirror in front of me right now.
My favorite first book in a series is Outlander. I was in college when I was reading Outlander, and I hadn't really been reading because everybody knows you read a ton while you're in school. So it was actually the first book that really got me back into reading. And I mean, who doesn't love Jamie and Claire? I mean, seriously, they're like one of my favorite couples that I've maybe ever read.
My favorite first book in a series is Fallen Kingdoms,
Ooh,
which I have right here. And the reason why I chose this was because I was super hesitant on reading fantasy, and my friend Cassidy gave me this book and gave me the courage to pick up some fantasy, and this was like the perfect way to get introduced to that genre. I absolutely adored it, and I've been reading this series ever since. So for our next beauty product, we have concealer. I am going to be using the Master Conceal by Maybelline.
And I have the trusty Tarte Shape Tape.
Which everybody loves.
So good. This stuff is really thick. It can be drying on some people, but I have dry skin and it doesn't bother me.
I'm just going to... I actually don't put concealer under my under eyes, which I know a lot of people do.
Really? I'm all about that. I have some circles.
I just kind of dab it on all my lovely blemishes. And for concealer, this is a character you want to get rid of. And I don't remember her name.
Her thing is Joanna.
I can't remember her name.
You might be able to help us out.
Or something, but I feel like Veronica Roth tried to do some like weird love triangle thing between Tristan Ford and this other chick in the third book, and I just wasn't feeling it. I felt like she served no purpose at all. She obviously didn't leave a lasting impression on me because I can't even remember her name. So therefore, I would like to get rid of her in that book.
Person I want to get rid of, and it's not that I didn't like the whole book, but because her book was good, but Nan from Rosemary Beach, she just was not my favorite character. I felt like sometimes she was just a little too over the top for me. Love the series as a whole, but sometimes I felt like it was just like unnecessary. Yeah, too much unnecessary drama.
So for the next beauty product, we have our trusty powder, and this is our favorite last book in a series. And I am using the Airspun powder, and it smells like grandma. It really does.
I was not expecting that to come out of You're not there. You're like, from the cover, I'm like, it has nice orange citrusy vibes. Like,
No, it smells like a grandma, like real bad. It does have a really strong smell, and they're not joking. Oh my.
Ooh, that's a little loose
yeah,
powder.
this one,
Ooh.
okay.
God.
What is going on? Get a whiff of that.
Okay, yeah. It smells like baby powder. I am using Studio Fix powder from MAC.
I typically just put my powder over where I get really oily, which is my forehead, so that's where it's gonna go today. And for this, it's our favorite last book in the series. So my favorite last book in the series is hands down Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. It just had the most beautiful ending. If you guys have read the trilogy, you know how wonderful all the characters are, and it has like the most perfect love triangle. This one is done like really,
especially
really well.
this one.
Yeah. So
and you love both of them equally.
Yes.
At least I did.
And so how she was able to tie it up was just beautifully done.
Mine was from a duology. So mine was the Crooked Kingdom book from the Six of Crows series. That was my absolute favorite. I thought they wrapped it up so beautifully. I really loved it, every single character. It may not have been exactly what I wanted, but it was what flowed with the story so well. So definitely my favorite.
All right, so for the next beauty product, we have eyebrows, and I'm actually really weird, and I don't have any eyebrow product because I don't ever do my eyebrows.
What?
So y'all are gonna be like, Hope, you were so janky, but the only thing I really do to my eyebrows on the daily is if I have any crazies, I go over it with this really loved mascara by CoverGirl, but it's super old and really dry, and I just kind of like, you know, run it over.
I have the Brow Wiz and I have the brow definer. I've been loving the Brow Wiz lately. It always freaks me out when I have my brows done without any eyeshadow. Yeah, don't judge me when I have like super thick brows in a second.
On fleek eyebrows and no eye makeup on. So while she's doing that, I'll just go ahead and talk about what book corresponds with it. And for this one, it is a book that everyone should read. So for me, I chose 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher, and we both actually just got done watching the Netflix adaptation, and we highly recommend. It was so good. But I read this book a few years ago, and it was one of those books that really left a lasting impression and just really impacted me, and just it was just such a great book in the fact that it really shows the importance of how you should treat people with kindness. I highly recommend everyone to read this.
I think it's important for all ages too. I wouldn't even say that it's someone who's in high school that should read it.
Right. What book left a lasting impression for you?
Mine is a classic, Pride and Prejudice.
Oh.
I think that everyone should read the classics. Jane Austen is my girl. I absolutely love this book, and I love the adaptation of the movie with Keira Knightley.
Okay, so for our next beauty product, we have eyeshadow. And so for this one, it's our favorite book cover, and we're supposed to like correspond our eye look with our favorite book cover. And when I was looking at all my books, I realized I really love books with color on it. So I'm choosing The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon because I just love all the pretty colors on it.
Mine is Blue Lily Lily Blue from the Raven Cycle.
Yes.
I'm going with the Morphe 35OM and the OS palette. She and I both own that.
And I'm using my Lorac Mega Pro 2, which has also been very well loved. I just really adore these colors.
I would say that like also if you're getting into makeup, it's worth investing in some good brushes. I've heard that Morphe has some really good brushes too, and Sigma.
I have 2 different brush sets. I have one that came from Sephora, which I really like. And I've been collecting these Wet n Wild brushes. They are so soft and fluffy and really great quality for the price. They're my
Elf
favorite.
is really good too.
Yeah, I have a few e.l.f. brushes and I haven't been disappointed by their brushes either. So for our next product, we have eyeliner, and this is our Dark and Mysterious book.
I'm gonna be using the Take the Plunge Technical Liner from MAC.
So for this book, the Dark and Mysterious book, I'm gonna choose Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Pretty much any book by Gillian Flynn is definitely gonna be one of those dark and gritty books.
So mine was actually a recommendation from Hope. It was, I know you're like, ooh, I don't know.
Intrigue.
So from the cover, you would never ever guess that this book was dark and mysterious. But The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender, it was strange, but in a beautiful way. I loved the entire book, and it was actually like a little bit of a mystery the entire time. Like,
it dealt a lot with like magical realism. Okay, so for our next beauty product, it's going to be mascara, which is a long book, and I'm gonna use my Supersizer mascara. And for my long book, I'm pretty sure the longest book that I've read was A Court in Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, and I read it on my Kindle, so that made it even longer because those dots at the bottom, you know what I'm talking about? They went on forever.
mine is Lady Midnight. You could probably knock someone out with this thing. Yeah, it was like a close run between this one and Name of the Wind. But this one won out, and it was a fantastic book. And I am going with the In Extreme Dimension 3D mascara from MAC. What's awesome about this one is that you really only need one dip. It like holds product and all of the different little channels up in here. That's what I just did that.
So for our next beauty product, we have blush, which this one is a cringe-worthy romance. And today I'm going to be using a new blush that I recently picked up from Wet n Wild. It's Mellow Wine, and I hear Kathleen Lights talk about these blushes all the time, so that's why I went and got it.
I have the Milani Baked Blush in the color Luminoso. I love peachy colors and pink colors. I also almost always contour. So
she's gonna do that here.
I'm gonna do it because there was no place for it. So bronze and contour. I'm using Hoola Quickie Contour Stick.
And for a romance that made me cringe, this one's gonna be a little controversial. So I chose Forbidden by Tabitha Suzuma because when you first hear about what the book is about and the romance within it, it makes you cringe because it is a love story between a brother and a sister. And when you pick up the book or you hear about it, you're like, wait, what? Like, how can I get behind this? But friends,
a little cringy.
Let me tell you, when you read the book, you totally understand why it happened and why people love the book so much.
Mine was, and this is probably a little controversial too for all of you Twilight people out there.
We love controversy!
I hated every single bit of Bella and Jacob's storyline. I've read the series a couple times, and every single time I find myself like skipping over parts. That one,
She just wasn't feeling that romance.
no. You gotta smile so you can get those cheekbones. Get those apples.
For our next beauty product, we have highlighter. I'm using another Wet n Wild product.
I was fortunate enough to be able to get Manny and Jeffrey's collab, the bundle, before it sold out. I ordered that yesterday. That's going to be my new highlight, but in the meantime, I actually just like using this palette, the Morphe 350S. I always like eyeshadows that I can use in multiple ways.
And for the book that corresponds with highlight, it's a book that brightens your day. For me, that is hands down Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I just really love these books. They give me the warm and fuzzies and they just make me really happy.
So mine was a book that I read this year, and it's The Hating Game. It brought so much joy to my life. I did the audiobook and I was laughing out loud. I would just walk around my house aimlessly listening to it as well. It gives like the perfect amount of laughter and just a little bit of drama.
Oh my
so
God.
I always like to make a little exclamation point, and I do a little bit of highlight on my cheek and on the tops of my lips. Even though it'll cover it when I put my lipstick on.
Which is actually our next beauty product. So that was a great little segue into our next topic. So lipstick, which is our favorite book kiss. We love our books with a great like romance or love story. So I'm sure
Keeps
it was
me
probably
attached.
really hard for her to pick this.
Yes.
Was it hard for you?
It was.
It was hard for me too, but I took it back to like the very first book that gave me like goosebumps head to toe. And so for this one, it was Holder and Sky from Hopeless.
Oh,
the fridge scene. Like, in the
that's a good
kitchen,
one.
that's all I have to say.
Okay, so this couple kissed in the first book too, but I would say once everything really came together for them and they were officially together, that's when my favorite kiss happened, was with Rise or Reese. I know we got corrected, and Farrah. They are one of my favorite couples right now. Their chemistry that she writes in this book is fantastic. They'll probably always be one of my favorite book couples.
Yeah, this was like my first like nude lipstick that I own. It was CoverGirl and it's in the shade 200 Sultry, and I've used it so much that literally this is all that's left. She's using one that she really, really loved.
I'm doing Androgyny by Jeffree Star. It's my favorite liquid lip formula. I love it because it just goes such a long way. Oh, and it's not drying.
All right, friends. Well, that wraps it up for this book tag. Thank you guys so much for watching. Danielle, thank you for doing it with me today.
Thanks for having me.
I love collabing with her, and it's been a hot minute since I've set up this tripod and camera, and I owe it all to this girl for getting me back into the swing of things. So,
Yay.
hope you guys enjoy this video. If you guys end up doing this tag, let me know down below in the comments if you do it. I would love to watch it. And until next time, you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.